Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Football Talk. And in this episode, I'm passing on all the NFL stuff. I'm tired of talking NFL. I want to do something a little bit more to my liking, and that's some college football. And there's no in particular topic per se in college football, but when you mention college football, the first thing a lot of people are thinking about nowadays is this whole conference realignment thing going on, where all the teams are switching conferences, and it's just like one big mess right now. And when you're talking about conference realignments, the first team that has to come to your mind would probably be Texas A&M, and they want to move to the SEC. Now, it, in my opinion, is basically done. I mean, it's pending upon a lawsuit by Baylor and Iowa State and all those like low-ranked teams in the Big 12. But I really haven't heard much of it, and I think it's not going to be a problem. So I think A&M is going to end up in the SEC. And when you talk about A&M going to the SEC, the first thought in your mind should probably be something like this.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And the reason why I say that is because I don't care whether you're an A&M fan yourself or anything like that. The fact that A&M wants to go to the SEC is a horrible move. I mean, they're basically... I don't even know what they're thinking, man. Because think about it. Right now you're in the Big 12, and you're behind teams like Texas, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State for sure. Alright, those are three teams. Good teams, I'll give you that. But they don't compare to the SEC teams. I mean, with A&M going to the SEC, noting that A&M has never dealt with the SEC-like schedule, they don't know what those SEC teams go through. Alright? A&M going to the SEC, they're going to be behind Bama, LSU, Auburn, and probably Arkansas too. And that's just the SEC West. Okay? Now, if you're going to include the entire SEC, there's also Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia too. Yeah, A&M is really nothing more than a doormat for these SEC teams, because with A&M, it gets them into Texas, and Texas is big time on high school football, which means big time college recruits and big time athletes that Nick Saban and Les Miles and other coaches like that can get their hands on. So, moving on now, I was going to talk about the Pac-12 becoming the Pac-16, but I actually just learned that Oklahoma State, Texas, and Texas Tech going to the Pac-12 has been rejected as of right now. So it's going to remain the Pac-12. And so obviously Oklahoma State, Texas, and Texas Tech are going to be in the Big 12 for now. Who knows how long that's going to last? We'll just have to find out. And moving on again, one question I have is the Big East going to be robbed again? I mean, they already lost Pittsburgh and Syracuse, and now I'm hearing rumors of the ACC going in to take UConn and Rutgers, which, when you think about it, they're not big-time moves as far as like football talent goes. Like, UConn and Rutgers are not big-time football schools. But the key reason for ACC wanting to do this is that UConn and Rutgers, they're the Northeast, and what's the biggest city in the Northeast? New York City. So taking those teams, it gets them to the New York City television market, and that's where all your money's going to be. I mean, New York City and the northern half of the country, they're not big on college football, so any local team that they find, they'll probably follow it. So that's where ACC is going to benefit a lot. And moving back to the SEC is going to want 14 teams. So on top of A&M, they're going to need another. Now, a while back on ESPN, I've heard rumors about Virginia Tech and Florida State going to the SEC, but I really haven't heard anything since, and that was a couple months ago. I mean, the most recent teams I've heard were West Virginia and Missouri. Now, I haven't heard anything of West Virginia myself. And another thing, I've heard rumors of the Big Ten and the SEC as possible suitors for Missouri. So, I mean, I didn't even think Missouri was going to even be considered for SEC, but that's just what I've heard. And there was also one report out, I think it was like Tuesday or something, I heard, that Missouri reached a deal with the SEC, but then this commissioner, whatever, of the SEC came out and said that's completely false. There's no agreement. Nothing has been reached. So, I mean, I don't think Missouri is a SEC capable team anyway, but we just have to find out if that were to be the case. I mean, me personally, I think Missouri's going to end up in the Big Ten. That's more suiting for them, and it's closer as far as away games go. I mean, that's just my perspective, and that's about it for me on this topic. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments. I made a Twitter, so go ahead, follow me on that, hit me up there. Alright? Thanks for watching the video, guys, and keep on tuning in.